Stay away from people who constantly ask for these 7 things, because each one slowly drains your peace, your energy, and your self-respect. After 60, peace isn't found in what you gain. It's found in what you stop giving to the wrong people. The art of protecting your peace is just as important as the art of finding it. Being kind doesn't mean always saying yes to everyone. It means being wise enough to know when to say no. Hi, it's Vernon again. Today, I'll share 7 kinds of things people may ask from you, and why saying no could be the most loving thing you do for yourself. After 60, you've earned the right to be selective about who gets access to your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being. You've spent decades giving, caring, and putting others first. Now it's time to learn the sacred art of emotional boundaries and self-protection. Before we dive in, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more elderly wisdom about happiness, emotional freedom, and finding peace after 60. Your support helps us reach more people who need to hear these life-changing truths. So let's begin with the first kind of request, the one that seems harmless at first, but quietly steals the most precious thing you have. 1. They ask for your time, but never give theirs. As the ancient Greek philosopher Seneca wisely observed, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. After 60, this wisdom becomes even more precious, because every moment you give away is a moment you'll never get back. I think of my old friend George, now 67, who spent years being everyone's go-to person. Neighbors called when they needed help moving furniture. Relatives reached out when they wanted someone to listen to their problems. And acquaintances expected him to drop everything for their emergencies. But George noticed something heartbreaking. When his wife fell ill and he needed support, most of these people were suddenly too busy to help. It took George months of reflection to realize the painful truth. He had surrounded himself with emotional vampires who saw his time as free and infinite, but guarded their own time like precious gold. Time takers have a particular skill. They make their requests sound urgent and important, while making your needs seem trivial by comparison. They'll call during your peaceful evening and talk for hours about their day, but when you try to share something important, they suddenly remember they have somewhere to be. Learning to protect your peace after 60 means recognizing that your time is not a renewable resource. When someone consistently asks for your time but never offers theirs in return, they're not asking for friendship. They're asking for servitude. George told me something profound after he learned to set boundaries after 60. He said, "I realized that people who only show up when they need something aren't really in my life. They're just using my life to make theirs easier." But time isn't the only thing people take. Some take your peace. 2. They ask for your peace by bringing constant drama. Drama is like a virus. It spreads quickly, infects everything around it, and leaves you feeling weak and depleted long after the initial crisis has passed. Drama makers are easy to spot once you know what to look for. They're the people who always have a crisis, always have someone to blame, and always need you to take sides in their conflicts. They don't come to you for solutions. They come to you to dump their emotional chaos and leave you holding the bag. Toxic people after 60 have perfected the art of making their problems your problems. They'll call you upset about their neighbor, their adult children, their boss, or their health, but they never want to hear your advice. They want you to absorb their anxiety, validate their anger, and carry their emotional burden. Maya Angelou once said, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time." Drama makers show you exactly who they are. People who prefer to spread their inner turmoil rather than do the hard work of finding inner peace. The most insidious part of emotional manipulation through drama is that it disguises itself as intimacy. These people make you feel special because they trust you enough to share their problems. But true intimacy involves reciprocity, empathy, and mutual support, not one person constantly dumping their chaos on another. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract drama wherever they go? I'd love to hear in the comments how you've learned to protect your peace when others try to pull you into their emotional storms. And sometimes it's not their words, it's their expectations that quietly drain you. 3. They ask you to fix their life, but never change themselves. There's a profound difference between someone who needs help and someone who needs to be rescued. Fix seekers are emotional black holes who suck up your energy, wisdom, and resources without ever taking responsibility for their own growth. I once had a neighbor, Patricia, who would come to me every few months with the same problems. Her finances were a mess, her relationships were toxic, and her health was declining. Each time I'd spend hours listening, offering practical advice, even connecting her with professionals who could help. But Patricia never followed through on any suggestion. She preferred the comfort of being helped to the challenge of helping herself. Self-worth after 60 means understanding that you are not responsible for fixing other people's lives. You can offer support, guidance, and empathy, but you cannot and should not do the work of growth for another person. Fix seekers have a particular way of asking for help that makes you feel guilty if you don't comply. They'll say things like, "You're the only one who understands me," or "I don't know what I'd do without you." They make you feel essential to their survival, when in reality, they're preventing both of you from growing. The cruel irony is that the more you try to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed, the more you enable their dysfunction. You become an unwitting accomplice in their refusal to take responsibility for their own life. In the words of the poet Rumi, try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? Patricia only began to change when I stopped trying to rescue her. When she realized that her emotional crutch was no longer available, she finally found the strength to stand on her own. And just as draining as fixing others is giving in to those who take your kindness for granted. 4. They ask for money wrapped in guilt or emotion.
Psychological boundaries become crucial when it comes to financial manipulation, because money requests often come disguised as emotional emergencies or family obligations. Money pullers are skilled at making their financial problems sound like your moral responsibility. They'll use phrases like, "I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate," or "You know I'm good for it," or "Family helps family." They wrap their requests in guilt, obligation, and emotional manipulation to make saying no seem heartless. But here's what I've learned through years of observation. People who respect you will never put you in a position where you feel forced to choose between your financial security and their approval. Toxic relationships often center around one person's resources supporting another person's poor decisions. If you would know the value of money, go and try to borrow some, as Benjamin Franklin wisely noted. The people who truly value your relationship will never jeopardize it by making unreasonable financial demands. The most dangerous money pullers are those who make loans sound like gifts, and gifts sound like obligations. They'll say things like, "It's just temporary," but temporary becomes permanent. They'll promise to pay you back, but somehow never have the money when you need it. Emotional intelligence in your 60s means recognizing that saying no to financial manipulation isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. Your retirement savings, your financial security, and your peace of mind are not bargaining chips in someone else's game. Share this video with friends who might need to hear this message about protecting their financial and emotional well-being. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is help others recognize toxic patterns. But money isn't the only thing they want. Sometimes they want your attention just to feed their ego.
5. They ask for your attention but never truly see you. Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "The greatest compliment that was ever paid me was when someone asked me what I thought and attended to my answer." Attention drainers are the opposite. They ask for your ears but never offer their eyes. These are the people who call you to talk about themselves for hours, who interrupt your stories to tell their own, who ask, "How are you?" but start talking about themselves before you can answer. They treat conversations like performances where they're the star and you're the audience. Energy vampires have a particular talent for making one-sided conversations feel normal. They've trained you to be satisfied with crumbs of attention while they feast on your focused listening. They'll nod politely when you speak, but you can sense they're just waiting for their turn to talk again. The most heartbreaking part of these relationships is how invisible they make you feel. You begin to wonder if your thoughts, feelings, and experiences matter at all. You start to believe that your role in relationships is to be the supportive listener, never the heard speaker. Emotional maturity means recognizing that healthy relationships require reciprocal attention. Both people should feel curious about each other, interested in each other's lives, and committed to truly seeing and hearing each other. When someone consistently asks for your attention but never gives you theirs, they're not asking for connection, they're asking for an audience. And after 60, you deserve relationships where you're a valued participant, not a forgotten spectator. And while attention can be exhausting, emotional guilt is even more dangerous. 6. They ask for your forgiveness without accountability. False apologies are perhaps the most insidious form of emotional manipulation because they mimic genuine remorse while actually perpetuating harm. False apologists have mastered the art of saying "I'm sorry" without meaning "I'll change." They apologize for getting caught, not for what they did. They express regret for how you feel, not for their actions that caused those feelings. They seek your forgiveness as a way to reset their guilt, not as a commitment to different behavior. These people will hurt you, apologize beautifully, hurt you again in the exact same way, then act surprised that you're upset. They treat forgiveness like a credit card with no spending limit. They assume they can keep charging emotional debt as long as they occasionally make minimum payments of hollow apologies. True accountability involves three things: acknowledgement of the specific harm caused, genuine remorse for the impact on you, and concrete changes in behavior to prevent future harm. Set boundaries after 60 by requiring all three before offering forgiveness. Nelson Mandela wisely said, "There is no love without forgiveness, and there is no forgiveness without love." But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it certainly doesn't mean allowing someone to repeatedly harm you. The most profound realization of my later years has been this: forgiveness is for your peace, not their comfort. You can forgive someone to free yourself from resentment while still protecting yourself from their future harm. When someone asks for your forgiveness without accountability, they're not asking for healing, they're asking for permission to hurt you again. There's one thing people ask that can quietly steal your spirit if you're not careful. 7. They ask you to shrink so they can feel bigger. The most subtle and devastating request of all is when people ask you to diminish yourself so they can feel more comfortable with their own limitations. Spirit shrinkers are threatened by your growth, your joy, your success, and your authentic self-expression. They ask you to tone down your excitement, lower your standards, and dim your light so they don't feel bad about their own choices to stay small. I experienced this personally when I began pursuing photography in my late 60s. Some people in my life were supportive and encouraging, but others made subtle comments designed to discourage me. "Isn't it a bit late to start a new hobby? Are you sure you want to spend money on that equipment? Photography is such a young person's field." These comments weren't meant to protect me. They were meant to protect them from feeling uncomfortable about their own unfulfilled dreams. To borrow the words of Marianne Williamson, "Your playing small does not serve the world." There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. Spirit shrinkers use emotional manipulation disguised as concern. They'll say they're just being realistic or looking out for you. But what they're really doing is asking you to limit yourself to their comfort zone. Protect your peace after 60 by recognizing that people who truly love you will celebrate your growth, not sabotage it. They'll encourage your dreams, not diminish them. They'll want you to shine brightly, not hide your light under a bushel. Save this video so you can watch it again whenever you need a reminder to set healthy boundaries and protect your precious energy from those who would diminish your spirit. By watching this far, you've likely realized something powerful. Protecting your peace isn't about closing your heart. It's about opening your eyes to who truly deserves your time, energy, and compassion. Saying no to these requests isn't cruel. It's necessary. Toxic people after 60 can rob you of the peace you've spent a lifetime earning. your energy, your time, your emotional well-being, and your financial security are precious resources that deserve protection. You've spent a lifetime giving, caring, and putting others first. Now it's time to protect what remains: your peace, your energy, your joy. At this stage, emotional intelligence means knowing that boundaries aren't walls to keep people out, but gardens that welcome the right ones in. Carl Jung once reminded us that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And part of that privilege is learning to walk away from anything that disturbs your peace. Your peace after 60 is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Guard it well. Which of these 7 things have you struggled with the most in your own life? Share the story that stayed with you the moment you learned the importance of protecting your peace and setting boundaries. And if this message resonated, like this video and subscribe to the channel to receive more heartfelt wisdom and practical advice for life after 60, and visit the channel to explore more inspiring videos made just for you. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in the next video.